Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip says Conor McGregor will have to knock out Floyd Mayweather to win, and it's exactly why he loves him to win the fight. Shannon predicts the New York Football Giants will win the NFC East, and Skip's Cowboys will miss the playoffs. Plus, how many years does Tom Brady have left? Skip says 5 more Super Bowl quality years, and Shannon doesn't buy it. Plus, Skip and Shannon give their expectations for Adrian Peterson in New Orleans this season. Skip and Shannon, let's debate.
Greatest theme song in history by Lil Wayne, No Mercy.
Gets stuck in your head all day, huh?
Which is what I have for you every day on this show.
I'm the greatest sidekick in American history. Better than Robin.
Yeah?
Yeah, by time, you know, hey.
Yeah, that's about what you are.
Oh, I'm just Robin.
Yeah,
huh?
you're Robin.
So what am I, Batgirl? Is that how that works? All right, well, let's get started with the most talked about fight in years. On August 26th, Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor will finally fight in Vegas. Mayweather is a heavy favorite going into the fight. Dana White said, quote, "It's definitely the biggest fight ever in combat sports history." Skip, what's your early prediction?
You can call me crazy the way I call Conor McGregor crazy, the craziest man in the world in a good way. But I really like Conor McGregor's chances to win this fight. I would love his chances if I did not believe he's going to have to win this fight via knockout. So I'll go with the knockout here because it's going to take a knockout to overcome those Nevada boxing judges that Floyd will have in his corner. I'm not going to say in his pocket. I won't throw that out there, but in his corner because Vegas is his home. He's the cash cow for Las Vegas. And those boxing judges, if this does go to a decision, are not going to give the MMA fighter any breaks because they got to protect their sport and their cash cow. So I'm going to go knockout. And I'll tell you why I do love Conor's chances is because most people believe this fight, starting with you, you're the ringleader here. It's a joke. It's a mismatch. It's a clown show. And I love it that all the pressure is building on Floyd Mayweather, who's starting to feel like Floyd Sr. now at age 40 and a half. And at 40 and a half, he's going to be expected to toy with Conor McGregor for all 12 rounds. Is that what I think that's what you think is going to happen? Toy with him, give him a boxing lesson. If Floyd takes so much as one clean shot to the face, it will be a disgrace after the fight. How could you let that little guy do that to you? And I'm going to remind you again, it has been almost 3 years since Floyd was actually tested in a fight. It's the second Maidana fight because we know what happened to Pacquiao. He was a one-armed man. He had a torn rotator cuff 3 weeks before that fight.
And he left the fight with a torn butt.
Yeah, well, he left the fight and went and got surgery the very next day on a torn rotator cuff. Should have won the fight anyway because he was the aggressor the whole night anyway, as Floyd just did his usual duck and run, duck and run, duck and run. He's the most boring fighter ever. But, hey, Conor McGregor will not allow this to be a boring fight. He will chase, attack. And you know what's going to happen. There's no way that Floyd is going to knock out Conor McGregor. So he's fearless in this fight because I'm going to remind you once again, Floyd hasn't knocked out anybody, and I don't count Victor Ortiz because that was a sucker punch.
No such thing.
For 18 years. It's been 18 years since Floyd knocked out the immortal Justin Juco on May 22nd of 1999. That he was 22 years of age that night. 22, and he still can't knock anybody out now?
If they stop the fight because you can't take any more punches, shouldn't that be, I mean, that's a knockout.
Victor Ortiz was talking to the referee and got cold-cocked. That's all he's capable of doing is getting a running start and throwing himself into a jaw shot that knocked out Victor Ortiz. Way to go, Floyd.
Skip,
that ain't going to happen this time.
You're in a fight. Protect yourself
at
all times. Skip, listen, I don't care if it's early. I don't care if it's late. I don't care if it's in the middle. Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he has no chance because anything can happen. They put man on the moon 40-plus years ago. So anything's possible.
Yeah, Floyd on the moon with one shot. I would love to see that.
But it's hard for me to believe as great a fighter in his sport as Conor McGregor is. He's good at a lot of different things. Floyd Mayweather is great at one thing, boxing. He's the greatest defensive fighter to ever live. Now, Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker might say, hey, and I remember Sweet Pea. You remember Sweet Pea Whitaker also. He was a southpaw, but had very great defensive skills. Look, here's the thing. You keep talking about the last time Floyd knocked someone out was 1999. The last time Floyd Mayweather gloves touched the canvas was in 2001. 2001. So 16 years, Skip, since that man glove, since the referee had to come to him and wipe the off his glove. And you expect me to believe a guy that's not a boxer, he's not even gold glove level boxer, is gonna come in and fight the greatest fighter from think about it, Skip, what he's going through now. 5 different weight classes. Wiped them out. You see him come to the ring with all those belts, Skip?
Ancient history. 40 and a half. Mayweather senior now.
He's going to be 40 and a half. He's going to be 50. He's going to be 50 and 0. So he'll have 10 years.
So you're making the mistake so many boxing people are. And ironically, I'm a big boxing fan, but I have turned into a Conor McGregor believer because you are dangerously underestimating, and I hope Floyd's fallen into this camp too, Conor McGregor's two-handed boxing skill. It is high because he is ambidextrous.
This right here, standing like this here, walking around the ring.
He posed for that picture. What are you talking about?
Okay. Watch this,
You're doing like a publicity Photoshop.
Here comes the left.
Is that all you got? Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah. He's a southpaw, and Floyd has had a lot of trouble with southpaws. That's his nemesis.
So much trouble.
But Conor is a lefty who's just as comfortable fighting righty, and it's really unorthodox, and it's really confusing. And I think for the first time in Floyd's career, in his life, the greatest defensive fighter ever is going to be saying, wait a second, boom. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, so those 3 losses that Conor McGregor has on his resume, he's 21-3. What did he have trouble with?
Wrestling.
Okay, because you said Floyd.
He fought a man who weighed 15 more pounds than he did.
Floyd is 49-0, and you say he's had trouble. Yeah. How much trouble he had?
Is Floyd going to wrestle him?
No.
Maybe Floyd needs to resort to wrestling.
Cube just sit here the other day and told us that Floyd going to put them fangs on him.
Yeah.
You know what them fangs are.
What fangs? He won the right to wear 10-ounce gloves against Pacquiao, 8-ounce gloves. Yeah. But he needs them because he's got arthritic hands.
Skip.
Am I right? They're arthritic. He's old.
Skip, first of all, at 147 and below, you fight 8-ounce gloves, Skip, as you go up and Skip.
Have some guts.
No, what?
Have some nerve. Huh? This man's only 28 years of age. And you know what?
And we go school him.
He's going to bring some thunder at lightning speed. He can throw,
You know what,
man.
Skip? You know
he can throw. You are underestimating what he can do.
I was in this class once, and we've all been in these classes where you got this one student that think they know everything, and every time the teacher says something, I was in college one time. A true story, Skip. And every time, and I was in Dr. Elmore's class. He was English. And every time he talk about something, the person knew it. And I could see, it was starting to get on his nerve because the guy thought he knew more than Dr. Elmore. So you know what he did? He came in there and wrote something on the board and said, tell me where this is from. That's Conor McGregor. He thinks he knows everything. He can beat anybody. And he's convinced you that he's the baddest man on the planet, although Skip, I will give him credit, Skip. He's immensely talented. He's a fighter. He will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. But Skip, being good at a lot of different things ain't the same as being great in one thing. Floyd Mayweather is great. Not just great. I'm talking about historically and transcendent great.
He is defensively, I agree. He couldn't knock me out right now.
He knocked Ricky Hatton out.
Oh, boy, I'll take that to my bank. That's impressive.
Arturo Gotti.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a long time ago, though. Long time ago. You are underestimating, and I hope Floyd is too, the intangibles he's about to face. Conor McGregor is the baddest man on the planet because he is crazy tough. He is the guy you would have to kill to whip. And that's what's going to happen on August 26th, where McGregor is going to just chase. My only fear is he'll attack, that Floyd will run the whole fight, and he'll get booed out of the ring by all the Conor fans, and they're going to take over T-Mobile. You know, it's going to be Mac Mobile that night.
Them bees stinging him, Skip. You chasing me around the ring, it doesn't matter, Skip.
If Floyd has the guts to stand and engage, he does.
He's never done that. He's not about to start now.
Oh, really?
No.
So he's going to turn this into the most boring fight in history.
He's going to turn it into the fight that's going to give him the best opportunity to win. And that's where guys get in trouble.
Duck and run.
They let the crowd start chanting, and then you want to go. Ask Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray got into that fight, the first fight. You remember the first fight when he fought Duran? What happened, Skip? He let them boo him and get him into a brawl, a fight that he couldn't win. He realized, no, why am I fighting this guy's style? This is the way I fight. He realized that he couldn't outbox Tommy Hearns, so he got into a slugfest. He realized he couldn't slug it out with Marvin Hagler. Sugar Ray couldn't, so he got into a boxing match.
Were any of those guys from the MMA? No, they were legitimate contenders and rivals, right?
Exactly my point.
So
the
pressure is going to build the psychological pressure on Floyd to school him, and you can't school him if you're running from him.
School him. Follow me around. Whap, whap. I'm over here now, Conor. Come get some. Whap, whap. No, Conor, I'm over here. Whap, whap, whap.
Yeah, I'm going to remind everybody, Pacquiao should have won that fight with one arm. If you know boxing, and I was schooled early covering Ali fights, and everyone taught me, all the boxing insiders, the aggressor wins the round. And it's a joke what has happened with Floyd because the judges let him get away with running for the whole round and then a little rat-a-tat-tat at the end of the round, a la Ali, the way he would win the last 5-10 seconds of a round, and then they give the round to Floyd. You can't do that.
But Skip, the way Floyd fights, you know he's a defensive fighter. You know he's going to get 1 or 2 pot shots when you open yourself up. And talking to boxers, talking to Holyfield, talking to Mark Breland, the thing is, Skip, when you try to get off, you subject yourself. Because guess what? When you throw your left, Skip, this side of your face is open. You can't have a glove, both. So you got to be here. So that thing, so when he shoots that, that power shot, he got that power shot. Watch that, Joy. Wow. You hear that? Hey.
Little mosquito punches. Wait.
Skip, you've been up there close.
Did he hit me or not? I don't know. I'm not sure if he hit me or not.
TV, when you see a legit professional fighter that's elite, when you see them up close, you actually, then you realize, because all you do is see the guy head snap back. He done snapped it back right back here. Shot cop. Skip, that thing is a thing of beauty. Yeah. It's a thing of beauty, Skip.
My biggest fear is that I watch Kovalev get robbed against Andre Ward.
Oh, he got robbed Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday.
He got robbed Saturday night?
Yeah, but the point is, Kovalev was in Las Vegas it's like against an American fighter, and the judges just really, they didn't get, the referee starting off didn't give Kovalev a break, and I'm afraid that's what's going to happen to Conor McGregor because Andre Ward hit him twice low in the last round, the 8th round, and he should have been disqualified, and the fight should not have been stopped. That's what I fear is going to happen, like Conor's not going to be given a fair shake by the ref or the judges.
Gonna beat him. Gonna beat him. And as we get closer to the fight, I might have to go down there and sneak on one of Floyd's a sparring session and check him out. And I might promise you a knockout.
How?
What you mean, how?
How? With what? Pillows that he's wearing?
With the dynamite.
Yeah, dynamite. He hasn't knocked out anybody in 18 years.
That's okay.
That's absurd.
That's okay.
You want to bet like 90 cases of dew on that? A knockout?
Hey, you bad because he got them 10-ounce gloves on.
Yeah. Protect his own face and his own hands. Way to go.
Yeah, we've established that his hands are brittle and sometimes he's take injections in those hands. Okay, but boy.
You know what? He has never faced a tougher man or a bigger, harder puncher than this guy. And I thought Pacquiao could throw dynamite, but Conor can really rock you. So all it's going to take, puncher's chance, one shot, one little lapse. He's smiling to the crowd. I got this. I'm just up here strutting my stuff. Boom! Gone. That's what's going to happen.
See, thing is Floyd shooting them things so quick. That right overhand counter. But see, everybody worry about this overhand counter. But you got to worry about this.
You better hope so, because 49-1 doesn't sound that good.
No.
Bend it, with $400 million in my pocket. You know what? I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna call Floyd. I'm gonna say, Floyd, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to let me borrow one of those Hermes bags, and I'm gonna sit it right here. I said, and go and leave them racks up in there. Cause Skip Bayless, you know, Skip is one of your biggest dissenters, and he didn't believe you were gonna be Pacquiao.
He just keeps it real about it. No mercy. Before we move into the next topic, I want to bring in Skip and Shannon to tell you about a great offer for our listeners from Saks Underwear Company.
Thanks, Joy. Skip and I wanted to tell you about Saks Underwear Company.
That's right, Shannon. Guys, we get it. Shopping for new underwear doesn't seem like a top priority, but it should be. And here's why. The right pair of underwear can make a huge difference, and that's Saks Underwear. They'll improve how you go about your day, even how you work out. So supportive, so comfortable, and they look good, too. Saks has everything you didn't know you needed in a pair of underwear until you try them. Take it from Shannon, a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Shannon, how important is comfort when you're working out?
Comfort is very important when you work out. You don't want something too snug. You don't want something too loose. You want something that will absorb the moisture, but you feel comfortable in it. And the more comfortable you are when you work out, I believe the longer you will work out. And that's the most important thing. So I am glad I got an opportunity to try Saks Underwear Company, and they're working great for me.
That's right. No matter what you're doing, Saks Underwear has you covered. Saks was created by an athlete, a former baseball catcher. So this product is designed to make you more comfortable. We want you to try Saks Underwear with our special limited time deal. Go to the URL saksunderwear.com/undisputed and you'll get 20% off your first purchase. Pick up some Saks Underwear. You will feel the difference. Go to saxxunderwear.com/undisputed. That's Saks with 2 X's. Remember, for 20% off your first purchase, go to saxunderwear.com/undisputed.
Thanks, guys. That's saxunderwear.com/undisputed for 20% off your first purchase. That's Saks with 2 X's. One more time, that's saxunderwear.com/undisputed. Now back to the show. No mercy. The Cowboys and Giants head into the season as the favorites to win the NFC East. The Cowboys won the division last year, but the Giants beat them twice by a total of 4 points. They open the season against each other September 10th in Dallas. Shannon, what's your early prediction for who will win the NFC East?
Pain. Your Cowboys. I love this, Skip. I like what they've done because defensively they stood pat, and I believe they'll be even better in their second year in Spagnuolo's defense than they were the first year. We know they got guys that can go get up the quarterback. They re-signed JPP. Olivier Vernon was spectacular. Snacks Harrison was awesome. Was awesome, Skip. And we know that cornerback position, Skip. Janoris, JJJ, Janoris, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, shut down all them receivers, all them diva receivers, especially that one in Dallas. You see them twice a year. Sends you to 2 catches, 16 yards, fumble, and an interception on your watch. I love what they really did offensively because there's no question in my mind that Brandon Marshall is a substantial upgrade over Victor Cruz. Anytime he's been healthy, no matter where he's been, whether he started out in Denver, playing with Kyle Orton, whether he started out in Miami or going to Chicago, he's had 1,000 yards. He's been an all-pro at a lot of different places, gone to the Pro Bowls. This is the best quarterback he's ever played with. So I believe that he will be equally as good as he's been in those other places. Probably won't get 90 catches, 1,500 yards, 1,400 yards like he did in some of the other places because you have Odell. You have a very comparable receiver on the other side. I like the addition of Evan Ingram because, Skip, I believe he's a faster, probably more athletic Jeremy Shockey. And we knew Jeremy Shockey early in his career in New York. He was fabulous. Now, the left tackle is going to be an issue, but I don't believe the Dallas Cowboys has a pass rusher that can take advantage of the weakness at left tackle. So with that being said, I'm not going to back off my pick. I say they would be 11-5, which they will be. They will win the NFC East, and the Cowboys won't.
So the Cowboys will miss the playoffs.
I say they were going to be 9-7, and I say they were going to miss. That means they were in there last year. In the playoffs this year, they will not be a participant.
Okay. And let me get this straight. You're in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, I'm in
still?
the for playing football, not picking.
Wait,
but I'll stand by this pick.
Are you sure you didn't just get disqualified on what you just said?
Nope.
All the above?
No, because when it happens, they're going to ask me to come to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Start picking games.
I don't think that's going to happen if your recent track record is any indication. But let me get all this straight.
Okay.
So the Las Vegas odds makers have my Dallas Cowboys favored to win the NFC at 5-1, and I have to go all the way down here past Green Bay and Atlanta and Seattle to 10-1 New York Football Giants.
Yes.
Do I have that right?
Yes.
And then recently read in Pro Football Focus, 5 of my Cowboys are ranked in Pro Football Focus's top 50. So that's 1/10 of the players in the top 50, and that's more than any other team has.
Correct.
And that doesn't even include Dak Prescott,
What?
who should be in the top 50, but who knows? I'll give you that, but it should be 6 out of the top 50 are Dallas Cowboys. And let me get this straight. The Cowboys they're the reigning NFC East champs. Mm-hmm. They did win 11 straight games last year. Mm-hmm. And they should have won their home playoff game, except for the 2 weirdest, luckiest field goals I have ever witnessed from Mason Crossbar. Isn't that what his name is?
No.
Mason Crossbar. And those 2 field goals kept Dallas from then beating Atlanta at Jerry World and getting to the Super Bowl, where they clearly would have lost to the New England Patriots. But that's how close it came. So despite everything I just threw at you, you still think the Dallas Cowboys are going to miss next year's playoffs? I mean, to me, that is straight Cowboy hate, completely unobjective hate, and it's going to wind up yet another Hall of Shame pick from the Hall of Famer, my man Shannon Sharpe.
No, what that's going to help me do is get plenty of cases of due off of you, because I
ones
know you're going to pick them, and they're going to lose. They're going to disappoint you, and you'll be upset, and you're going to say, I don't know what happened, and then Jerry's going to bring Tony Romo back.
Okay, we'll see about that. So last year you bet again and again and again against Dak Prescott, and you lost again and again and again. Now you're making the same mistake because he's one of those guys just on intangibles alone you don't bet against.
I'm not betting against him.
Well,
I'm betting against this team.
He's the quarterback of this team.
What about that defense? What about that defense?
Okay, thank you for bringing up that defense. But by the way, before I get to the defense, my offense is going to be even more explosive than it was a year ago. And the reason for that is they kept Terrence Williams, which was a big keep. You know, they didn't go out and get free agents, but they kept Terrence Williams, they kept Bryce Butler, and then they went out and drafted another Cole Beasley and Ryan Switzer. He is cat quick. So you got 2 little guys in the slot, New England-esque, right? And that will even upgrade. Obviously, we have the best offensive line in football.
Oh, we now.
Well, I grew up a Cowboy fan. Is that fair? I mean, I earned my we. I didn't jump on the bandwagon.
I didn't either.
Oh, you didn't?
I've been with Bron since 03.
Since 03.
Been knowing about him since 84.
Okay. And the point is that this year, coming off a big playoff game, Des Bryant with 9 catches for 132 yards against Green Bay, I'm going to expect a bigger year from Des Bryant, who struggled all last year with injuries. And I think he pouted here and there a little bit because he's kind of pushed out, and he got called out a little bit by Dak Prescott. I will throw it to you when you're open. And I think he's back in rhythm, in gear, and found a new comfort zone with the new quarterback. So I don't also expect that Zeke will get off to the rookie start that he did, because those first 2 games he had 51 and 83 yards, which kind of kept his total down a little bit. Watch him just explode right out of the blocks, because on opening night, your Giants come to my Cowboys, right? Opening Sunday.
Why they got to come now? Why do the Cowboys always have to open up at home?
Ratings. That's what it's called. Ratings.
They can open. Hold on, Skip.
Yeah.
So what? They don't have
Jerry
TV at
World.
night? They don't have TV at night?
The biggest star in the Cowboys is Jerry World, because the biggest star in the franchise is Jerry Jones.
Okay, I get
so it's the house that Jerry built.
I get all of that.
Right?
So are you trying to tell me the Cowboys would not rate in New York?
They would, but
Okay,
again,
so
there's more aura with Jerry World.
Oh, stop. But nobody care about that. They ain't won nothing in that building.
Yeah, they do.
What if they won, Skip? When the last time they hung a banner up there?
They won the NFC East last year in that building.
Skip, that ain't nothing.
So back to my defense, which, by the way, was a top 5 defense last year, and all of a sudden you have
and points allowed.
Well, that's all. I think that's kind of what you hang your hat on defense.
Well, how many points did they allow against Green Bay?
Well, my quarterback came back and made it 28 all and 31
all. Hold on,
all.
Skip, but you didn't say your quarterback. You said your defense.
Well, you told me Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in pro football, so I guess he had a rare good day.
What
he finally lived up to his name, finally.
Hold on, Skip.
Right?
You keep talking about your defense. They gave up 34 points.
Yeah.
So if you give up 34 points a game, where would that rank you?
Well, again, my offense came back and tied the game and should have won the game.
Well, I look at it like this. The two best quarterbacks they played, Aaron Rodgers and Eli, they lost.
Two best? Eli's not the best quarterback they played.
Who
Are you kidding me?
Who else they played?
I don't know. Eli threw 16 interceptions last
Ben,
year.
okay, we give him Ben. They lucked up won that one because the guy wasn't doing what he's supposed to. But talk about your defense.
Okay, I'm talking about my draft. I told you I give it an A on just energy boost alone. Taco Charlton flying off that edge. Watch. Every time I turned on Michigan, I saw Taco jump off my screen. Every time I turned on Michigan, I saw Jordan Lewis make another play in the secondary. And guess what? He's now a Dallas Cowboy. And every time I turned on Colorado, I saw Awuzie. That kid's everywhere. He's all over the field getting his hands on the ball.
The only two guys I saw jump off my screen from Michigan was Charles Woodson and Tom Brady, and for about 2 years, Woodley.
Yeah.
Other than that, Skip, stop. Now, you need to stop. You know what happens.
And going back 2 years ago, every time I turned on Notre Dame, that linebacker, wait, who's that Jalen Smith guy? He's jumping on my screen. He's popping, man. And he wrecked his knee in the bowl game, and now he's slowly but surely coming back. And by midseason, mark my words, keep this tape. Once again, Jalen Smith will start popping off your TV screen as he comes off the edge and starts making plays because he is explosive off the edge. So, again, Rod Marinelli was sort of the star of the defense because he just takes nothing and makes it into something. And here they come.
I expect to see a lot of this from Odell. And now you gotta let them celebrate? Skip! Can you imagine what Odell got lined up for him?
You know, I give you that. They have a sensational receiving core. I even like Sterling Shepard. Sterling's a good first name.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Love that.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Not
And
better than Shannon, though.
my Cowboys have a better offensive line.
Okay.
They have a much better running back. Who is your running back? Paul Perkins?
We
I like Gallman.
We might run the run and shoot. We don't need a running back.
Run and shoot.
We got Eli.
Run and shoot.
Lick 'em live. Two-time MVP.
So Lai threw 16 interceptions last year, and my guy Dak threw 4. Wow, I think I'll take 4 over 16 when it comes to interceptions.
Yeah, but
you know what, Eli? He's an interception waiting to happen. He's led the league 3 times. For all I know, it'll be bombs away this year, and he will again lead the league in interceptions.
He's gonna lead
it.
He's gonna lead the Giants to division title. That's what he's gonna lead them to. How about that?
So who has the better offense? It's clearly Dallas. Who can control the ball better because of Ezekiel? Clearly Dallas can.
Y'all can't block. Look, snacks. Oh, they got JPP back on one side. They got Olivier Vernon on the other side. Crow Marty still. Oh, Landon Collins was finished runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, man.
So I'm going to warn you, this time at Jerry World, which is played inside, the roof will be over, night game, the ball won't be wet like it was on December 11th last year up at Giants Stadium when it had snowed all day and it was slushy and wet, and Dak couldn't hang on to the football, and then Dez couldn't hang on to the football.
What about the opening day game when they played in that very building that you're talking about currently, and they still won?
So Dak Prescott got thrown in as a raw rookie into starting his first ever National Football League in place of the great Tony Romo, beloved by Cowboy Nation. And what did he do? He lost, 20-19, and had the ball at the end. If Terrence Williams hadn't gone left instead of right and gone out of bounds, maybe it's a long field goal attempt. It looked like it would have been a 52-yarder to win the game.
Hold on. Dak Prescott, do you use that? You say he was a rookie in the first game, but that same rookie ran off like 11 games in between.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
So what?
The ball was wet on December 11th. He did not play well, but neither did Eli. Did you see the mystery balls he's throwing? It'd slip out of his hands.
No, I saw the one he hit Odell Beckham
He threw
with.
one good pass. He held on to one pass.
He
got one dry ball.
He threw one more than Dak Prescott.
Yeah. And I wonder how he got a dry ball, and the Dallas ball was always wet.
No, Skip,
always
stop.
wet. And what did Eli say? He volunteered at the start of his post-game media session. The ball was so wet, I could barely hold on to it.
But they found a way to do it. That's what the great ones do.
Ball
they found a way to make it happen.
On the night of September 10th at Jerry World, Sunday night.
It was not just raining on the Cowboys side. Eli was not playing in a phone booth. It wasn't dry where he was playing either.
Well, I told you he was throwing it all over the lot, but he held on to one dry ball.
He threw it over. Odell was just snagging that thing.
Yeah. Oh, he snagged it all over the lot.
Sterling Shepard.
You haven't learned your lesson yet. Week after week after week. Week after week after week after week.
Skip, it's like the lottery. I play the lottery.
You do play. I saw you the other day buy a lottery ticket. I couldn't believe it. I thought you were just saying that.
And scratch off Skip.
And what happened? You lost again.
No.
Think how much money? Out for you?
No, here's the thing. They have the drawing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, Saturday. So every time they draw, they have to miss the numbers that I selected. I just need to be right once.
Okay, and then what are you going to do? You're going to quit Undisputed?
No, I could.
No?
And not bust you up. No. I'm going to pay them to let me come bust you up.
When you win the lottery, you get Skip a whole container, giant container of Diet Dew.
I'll buy you some neckties.
And then you're going to buy the old Beverly Hillbillies mansion in Beverly Hills, right?
No.
Cement pond?
No.
What do I get if you win the lottery?
I'm going to get you to get that hate. I'm taking you to the doctor to get that hate out your heart. That's the first thing.
No mercy. Let's talk about the Super Bowl champion Patriots. Tom Brady said this offseason that he could see himself playing into his mid-40s. Brady will turn 40 in August. And Patriots owner Robert Kraft said in March that Brady assured him he'd be willing to play 6 or 7 more years. Ooh. Shannon, how many more years does Brady have left?
The question is, how many more years does he have left in New England? Because that's going to be the problem, Skip. Do I believe Tom Brady could play a couple of more years? Absolutely. Do I believe
6 or 7?
No. You're not playing 6 or 7.
Are you jealous?
No. Huh? Why would I be jealous?
Well, because you got forced out. Because your body just finally said, "I'm sorry, Shannon, I can't do this anymore."
No, I was only going to play one more. I really wanted to play 15, Skip. But when the offer came to me and I felt that I could talk longer than I can play football, and these desk jobs don't open up very often, it was a no-brainer for me, Skip. Playing one more year for what? That wasn't going to change the narrative. People are going to say I was loud. Yeah, I won 3 Super Bowls, yada, 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 yada. But that wasn't going to change people's perception of me. I don't think Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl changes the narrative of him.
No.
He's the greatest quarterback. He's one of the greatest players to ever play this game. And so that doesn't change anything. But for me, Skip, Tom Brady's favorite player growing up was who?
Montana.
Joe Montana.
49ers.
He got to see something play out in San Francisco before his very eyes.
He did.
Steve Young. They kept him now. The money was different then, so you could keep a backup at a decent price. And when Joe got hurt in 92, Steve came in, was the MVP, and boom. Tom Brady also knows. How did he get his job? Drew Bledsoe got hurt. See, I've always felt that court case was never about Tom Brady clearing his name. He wanted to minimize the opportunity that Jimmy Garoppolo could get in and play, because the more you let someone see you play, he didn't want to get Wally Pipp, Skip.
Oh, please. You think he's threatened by Jimmy Garoppolo? No.
You don't think he's not threatened by Jimmy?
I do not. I think he was trying to clear his name, and I think he cleared at least part of it.
Skip, there's a segment over here that believe he did it, no matter what he said. There's a segment over here that believe he didn't do it, even if they just saw him do it himself. So people were already dug in. It's like anything. Some people believe what they believe, and no matter what you show them, it doesn't matter. Skip, the thing is that unless they move Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe 85 to 90%, this is Tom Brady's last year in New England. Unless they move Jimmy. Now, if they move Jimmy, obviously they don't have a fallback plan.
I agree.
But Skip, it's going to be hard. Here's a guy that's a free agent. It's hard for me to believe that Coach Belichick is going to pay this guy the kind of money that it's going to take, because he just saw Glennon get $15 million. He see these guys that I'm better than these guys that's making $16, $17 million. So that's the problem that Tom is in. Do I see him playing a couple more years? Yes. Do I see him playing those years in New England? No.
So I agree with your bottom line point that this well could be Tom Brady's last year in New England. Now, it's still possible that if some team gets desperate enough during training camp because they're a contender and they lose their starter to injury and they offer a King's RG3 style ransom for Jimmy Garoppolo, that Belichick could say, I just can't not do this.
Didn't Cleveland have that on the wood for him?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but maybe. Okay. And that could also happen at the trade deadline, like November 1st, right around there.
Correct.
Not sure what it is yet. But if Tom Brady gets right off on a Super Bowl roll, the first 8 games this coming year, maybe Belichick would sit back and say, well, he looks pretty great to me, and maybe he would just go forward and say, I give up. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm with you on that point. Where we disagree is I believe Tom Brady has 5 more MVP caliber, Super Bowl worthy seasons left in that body.
Skip!
Hey, this man is revolutionizing quarterback longevity. You know it, and I know it, because nutrition, stretching, and just energy and mindset.
Yes.
He loves playing football.
Well, that's first and foremost.
Some people just burn out on football.
Yes.
You've seen it a million times, right?
Yes.
Where you either can't take the pounding, you can't take the meetings, which were your cross to bear, right? After a while, I just can't do this anymore. It's just too much.
And that's what's so amazing about Tom, Skip, because he's heard the same verbiage for 17 years. He's had different coordinators, from Charlie Weiss to Callahan, Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien,
Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels, now back Josh McDaniels again, Skip. So he basically heard the same verbiage for 17 years, and he's not burnt out on that.
Loves it. Lives it.
He loves
it. It's his life. He's got his family, plays a little off-season golf. He wants to play football. And he's the first one to stand up and say, wait a second, why can't I play into my mid-40s? Why can't I play for 6 or 7 more years? I'm going conservative. I'm going 5. And this is the one man I always tell you I do not bet against in sports. This is Tom Brady we're talking about. It's also Bill Belichick we're talking about. And again, I don't blame Bill for this, but in the end, let's say they're prohibitive favorites to win next year. Let's say they close another deal, okay? So they both have 6 Super Bowl rings. Does Bill want to win 7, 8, and 9 with Tom Brady?
Bill loves winning. It's the one thing that he
wants. No, I got it. But at some point, he's going to want to cement his own legacy by showing the NFL world, I can win without that guy. Some people give Tom, like me, 75% of the credit. Some people believe that Tom Brady saved Bill Belichick's job when Drew Bledsoe faithfully got hurt against the Jets in Game 2 back in 2001.
Right.
Whatever. I can't condemn Bill Belichick for saying, I have earned the right to try to do this, quote unquote, by myself. Well, you know what that's going to dictate? That's going to dictate Tom Brady. Now, he could probably get a pretty good trade deal back for Tom Brady, right? I assume if Brady can prove, especially if he's an MVP next year.
That's the thing is, and for the better part of 18 years, Mr. Kraft has stayed out of the football-related side of it. This is going to be a tough sell because he says he valued Tom as a son. Now, here's the thing, Skip, that I admire most about Tom Brady is that with all the money and adulation that he has, he plays like he's broke. His love, his desire for the game. And that's hard because as you move up, they say you have to, even though you're wealthy, you must play like you're a peasant. And he plays like that. He plays like he's trying to make the team. He plays like he doesn't have a dime.
I agree.
And that is so, you have to admire that when you've accomplished what he's accomplished, and to go out there and to hear the same verbiage. Now it's 18 years because he came in 2000. So he's heard the same verbiage for 18 years. And he's still, his desire, his hunger, his drive to not only play, but to play at the highest levels, to practice at the highest level, and to put his body to eat what he must eat, to stretch and to train like he must in order to be the Tom Brady, because he knows here, that's the only thing that's acceptable. Just the drop-off is unacceptable to him.
Okay, maybe he needs another new chip on his shoulder. Maybe he needs a change of scenery and a challenge that Bill Belichick pushed me out the back door, a la Peyton Manning in Indy, and then Peyton went to Denver and did what?
I wouldn't be surprised, Skip. In my head, was like, okay, you thinking about getting rid of me, Bill? Let me go. I'm going to have an MVP regular season, and I'm going to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to make it 5 MVPs with 6 Super Bowls. Now what?
Okay. Well, 2 friends of Tom Brady's have told me in the past that he and Belichick are just not close. And again, not condemning Belichick for this because it's the general mentality of I'm going to stay arm's length from my players, right?
It's easier to get rid of you.
It's easier to. And what has Belichick done in his past? It's part of his mystique that he has gotten rid of stars a year or two before anybody saw it coming, and you know who they are.
Richard Seymour, Logan Mankins, Lawyer Malloy,
Chandler Jones. My God, wouldn't he love Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
McGinnis. Wouldn't Belichick love to put one exclamation point at the bottom of that list? Tom Brady. I got rid of Tom Brady. He's got a big ego. So does Tom. So do all of them. Okay.
When you become that great, Skip, your ego is astronomical.
Sure.
Now, some people can do a better job of hiding it. Now, I've always said this, having played the game and been around some of the all-time greats. I've always felt that quarterbacks had the biggest egos, but they've done the better job of hiding it. Wide receivers and corners, they just can't hide it, Skip. They just can't help themselves. They're going to tell you how great they are. They're going to do certain things to draw attention to themselves. But, Skip, I mean, he's in phenomenal shape. He loves the game. He trains with the purpose. Everything that he does is football related. When he goes on vacation, how long he stays on vacation, when he eats, what he eats, how he trains is all devoted to football. That's the singular. And I'm not saying that he doesn't love his family, but I believe during football season, football is more important. And to be great, that's what it must be. And you must commend the spouse of another that their husband or their wife plays a professional sport, and you're willing to take a back seat knowing that. But he's not. First of all, he's not playing 6 or 7 more years on no team. But I will say that he could probably play 2 to 3 more. I just do not believe that's going to be in New England.
I'm with you. So there are studies done back through the 1990s that showed most quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, hit the wall at 39. I don't think Tom hit the wall at 39. Now he's about to be 40, and here we go. And he's just going to shatter this mold. It's another crusade for him to say, look, none of those old quarterbacks had any idea of how to take care of themselves. They didn't know how to beat the system. And he does it through stretching, where he can take the blows better and be more elastic.
Well, they wanted to make sure they was warm inside. Those old quarterbacks maybe, partook in a little bit more beverages.
They might have.
We're not talking about Gatorade. And
no, I got
it. The training, Skip, was not, and nutrition was not what it was, even when I left the game in 2004.
They didn't have avocado ice cream then?
Nah, they didn't have it. And I got the tail end, guys were just starting to sleep in the hyperbaric chamber. They were doing all those other things to make sure they played longer.
Well, so you think he's out in 2 more years. So that would mean if you trade him or cut him and he goes elsewhere, that would be for only 1 year. And I got him for 4 more years somewhere where he could win a couple of Super Bowls for somebody else. Maybe he goes home to the Bay Area where he was raised and resurrects the 49ers.
Well, whatever happens, you said it, Skip, it's going to be one of the best stories in sports history. No mercy. Adrian Peterson signed a 2-year deal with the Saints in April. He only played 3 games last season with the Vikings after tearing his right meniscus. Peterson spent 10 years in Minnesota, rushing for over 1,000 yards 7 times. Skip, what do you expect from AP this season in New Orleans?
Joy, Shannon Sharpe. I expect that Adrian Peterson at age 32 will have another big bounce back year. I believe he'll go for 1,000+ yards. I wouldn't be surprised at another 1,500 yard season from another man I do not bet against, especially when it comes to weight room or running sprints out in the Houston heat where he lives, or just on pure running back longevity. Because as we know, and as Joy just pointed out, Adrian's only played 20 of his last possible 48 regular season games, so he's fresh. And he is going to play with the biggest chip on his shoulder of any player in the National Football League, because his beloved Vikings, as you pointed out, basically said, Adrian, thanks, but no thanks. Not interested anymore.
Basically, at $12 million, we're not interested.
Okay. Well, for whatever reason, they said no, and then the NFL basically rolled its eyes collectively at Adrian Peterson and then closed its eyes on Adrian Peterson and said, no, we're out. And what happened? There's one coach in the league who loves to say, watch this National Football League, and it's Sean Payton in New Orleans. Once upon a time, he was the one who took a shot at Drew Brees. Remember, he was having bad shoulder issues. He's too little, he's too short. And he said, no, watch this. And then he created the most explosive offense, maybe in the history of the NFL. You could make a case for it over these last decade or so, right?
What is it, 5,000-yard passing season for Drew Brees?
Wow. And then that Super Bowl game that the New Orleans Saints did play in, This is the man who onside kicked down 4 points to start the second half and flipped the momentum in that game. So he's a watch this guy, and I believe he will say watch this with Adrian, because he's going to say, watch me feature him this year at age 32. I know Mark Ingram's still there, coming off his best year yet in the league. But I believe that Adrian Peterson will bring new life and vitality to this offense, because it will become more of a balanced offense that Drew Brees told us at the Super Bowl they are looking to re-achieve, as they did in 2009 when they won the Super Bowl. It is made to order for Adrian Peterson to be one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story in the league this year.
Skip, I agree. It's hard to bet against Adrian Peterson. I just don't see him getting enough carries to be really successful. He's a volume carry guy. So the more times you give it, the more beneficial Adrian Peterson is to you. I also wonder, are we going to see the old AP or an old AP? Skip, there's only so many collisions that a running back or any player has in their body. And as you mentioned, only 20 games of a possible, 48 you said? That's not good. I mean, he missed, 13 games last year. He led the league in rushing the year before. He got suspended, led the league. So we know what he represents. And it is hard, because we saw a guy tear his knee in December and comes back and rushes for 2,097 yards and was the league's MVP. So we know what he represents. But I just don't see the carries. Mark Ingram going to the Pro Bowl, coming off his best season. They draft Alvin Kamara in the 4th round, a guy that has great he's not an every down back, but he can do a lot of different things really well, can catch the ball out of the backfield. He was a 5-star recruit, University of Alabama.
He was.
Got to the doghouse, went to Tennessee. Now, Sean Payton, when they won the Super Bowl back in 2009, it was basically Pierre Thomas and Reggie Bush. Those were the guys that got the bulk of the carries. Pierre really was the guy that ran the ball.
He was.
And Reggie was the third down guy to come in and catch the ball out of the backfield. Skip, I just don't see how you give Adrian Peterson enough carries to really see the benefit of what he can do for your team. Because Mark Ingram, and he got a nice contract, deserves and earned the right to get the lion's share of the carries, because what he's done all of this for the Saints. Everything that Adrian Peterson's done thus far was done for the Vikings. And that's a very, very tough dichotomy to try and juggle. Plus, you took a guy in the 4th round, so obviously you feel he can come in.
Okay, so you think Adrian's going to have a very quiet year?
Yes. Yeah. I'll give him 700-800 yards.
Well, that's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think but you got him going over 1,000.
I got him easily over 1,000, maybe even 1,500.
No,
his bounce back year after he got suspended. And he will have a better, bigger year than Marshawn Lynch with the Oakland Raiders. And those will be the 2 best running back stories.
Does he have a better year than Eddie Lacy?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. I think he's going to be the story of the year. And I think New Orleans is going to bounce back because of him.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on Channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. That's it for us today. We're off on Friday and next week. We'll be back Monday, July 3rd, with a lot of fun and debates. We'll talk to you then. Fox Sports 1 of 1.